The Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show.
Boss and the Sauce Show. Here we go.
We got Nevada versus New Mexico State. I don't know how I got a 10.5, but I got a 9 in my notes, and I got a 53.5. So I guess that number up there is bogus, but it's Nevada -9 over under 53.5. Basically got notes on this one. You know, two first year head coaches go at it right here. We got Ken Wilson, so got Jerry Kill, and both teams seem to have QB battles on both sides. Nevada has Nate Cox, who's probably going to be the starter. He's last year's backup, and they also have Oklahoma State transfer Shane Illingworth. So we don't know which one we're going to get out of that. And then also for New Mexico State, they have a four-man battle going over there, but it's a clear leader in Pivia, Diego Pivia. He's a native to New Mexico. Guy did pretty good in the high school and everything around there. So this guy looks like he's going to be the clear starter for New Mexico State. In this game, I'm really liking the under 53.5 in this one. Both offenses need help. Both coaches come from a defensive standpoint, and I really like New Mexico State plus the 9 points for the game. Coach Jerry Kills over there. This is a setup for the Minnesota game, which he plays next against his arch rival Fleck. I mean, you can go look up at some of the, I don't really like slinging dirt, but you can go look up the dirt on some of the comments that he's made about Fleck before and all this. So this is kind of a warm-up game for him getting over there. Jerry Kill, he took himself out. The guy suffers from epilepsy. He had an epilepsy seizure on the field before, well, quite a few times they say. So he suffers from some health conditions, and he took himself out. He worked his way back in. I believe he was with Oregon?
Yeah,
I believe he was with Oregon for a little while. But the guy has a vendetta headed out here. And when we look at Ken Wilson on the other side, he was kind of a mysterious guy, which is it plays good in his favor. They don't really know it in the conference what he's going to jump out and do. But here in the pre-games right here, it's not a big difference right here. Both teams don't know much about either team. But basically, at the end of the day, I feel like Ken Wilson kind of fell victim of the transfer portal and lost 8 offensive players going with Jay Norvell over to Colorado State. And he's kind of putting the pieces back together. So I think it's going to take him a little more time. I think the bookies are looking at what Jerry Norvell did, Carson Strong and all that stuff last year. Got to be a little biased to some of that stuff to not feel like these teams are at the same starting point right here with first year head coaches. So it's under for me, and it's also Nevada plus the points and a little sprinkle on the money line.
That's probably not a bad look. All things being equal, like you were saying, 2-year first coach. And I believe it was, I believe it was the Nevada coach who spent a little bit of time over at Oregon. I think like you were saying, Wilson.
He comes out of Minnesota. Yeah, Jerry Kill comes out of Minnesota.
Correct. He's got some time in the Big Ten. Jerry Kill, like you said, he's got that little chip. Because when he left Minnesota, that's when PJ Fleck came aboard, and he's got some time at Virginia Tech and a lot of time in the Big Ten. So I expect him to to try to play some downhill football early on to try to revamp that whole process. What's going on over there? But for Kill, with New Mexico and New Mexico State, their predictive index I think had them ranked at about 127th, where last year Nevada had like the 20th ranked offense in college football, and they had the number 1 defense in turnover ratio, which was kind of crazy, when you think about it. So they had a lot of pluses over there at the Wolfpack up at Reno. So and they're going to be, it's going to be a transition year for them too. Like you said, with Wilson coming on board, he's a long time. He's a 20-year assistant over there in Nevada, so he's well rooted in the community, and if he's going to take if he's going to take roots there and kind of keep that same process that Norvell left behind, because Norvell, when he left, he took a bunch of players with him. So it's a rebuild in both places. But I think one team was sitting a lot higher and the other team was sitting low. So the team at the bottom's got, definitely more room for improvement. And this, Nevada's going to probably slide a little bit, obviously. But I think on defense, they still have some of the players left, and they're expecting to kind of, more experience on the defensive side than they have left on the offensive side. So, maybe points look good here, per your comments, but and I was thinking maybe they've got some high numbers here. They got like a 53 and a half. You're talking about a 38 to 20, 38-24 type of game, something like that. So that's going to be I think that's a lot of points for this type of setup here. So I would have to lean, towards the under here a little bit. I would say, 54 points, 20, like I said, 27, 28 points aside, somewhere in 28. that's 56. So I don't think either team. I think if anybody, I think maybe Nevada might clip 30, but I don't think New Mexico State's going to get above 24 points here. So it's going to be close either way, but I would lean towards the under. But I would probably the plus the points might look good here. Maybe keep it under 2 scores possibly. But in the past, I think Nevada in the series has got pretty much the edge in this series. I want to say like 14-2 or something. They haven't played a lot up until like 2021. I guess were they in the same conference at one point in time? Because it looks like going back to 2000, 2010, 2009, they played a bunch, years.
Yeah, I think at some point they were maybe a part of the WAC.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Parts of the Mountain West.
Yeah,
back when BYU was over there.
Like 14-2 overall. If anybody wants to, but and those numbers were pretty large and differential too by Nevada. But like I say, we're in a different era now, so I would lean towards the under here in this spot.
A couple other notes. So I did my paperwork, and then I did some eye digging as well. So as far as what I see on the internet in regards to Jerry Kill over there at New Mexico State, he's a player coach, and we seen this with the Mountain West Championship winner last year at Utah State. Those player coaches, they tend to fire up locker rooms and teams real fast. So all you hear is great things about the coach. And from the players, they're way more excited. And I think that New Mexico State last year, they had made some advances as it was. Firing the coach was not really mind-boggling, but at the same time, they played pretty tough, especially at the beginning of the season. They lost quite a few games by 1 score and stuff like that. They wasn't as bad as we usually see New Mexico State. So they were already making a little progress. Now Jerry gets there. They're pumped up. He's an advocate of players. That's one of his pet peeves, and one of his things that he has with Fleck is that he's an advocate for the players, man. And I think that they're gonna stand behind him, especially with the energy in the first game. I mean, I know he's got to be doing everything he can do to get the W because he wants to have all the commotion and everything going into the Minnesota game, which they play next. So
well, he's done it all. He was an AD. He did a lot of recruiting. So, to your point, like he's a people person, a players person. So, he's been up and down the avenue. All aspects of the college game. So, I mean, that's probably a good fit for them over there. Because he's a bottom up type of guy. So, maybe like you said, he rallies the troops, and if they get 3-4 wins and get them out of the bottom of the bottom of the doldrums of college football. This will be a good win, coming out of the gate for him.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think about the line in this one? I could see that 9 definitely going down to maybe 7.5 towards once people get to looking at the game and see 2 first-year head coaches going at it like that. It comes more of a coin flip, and that many points in your pocket starts looking real good. So I think that 9's definitely going to drive down. So you might want to hop on it now if you got the extra bucks to spare. But as far as the total, I'm not sure if it'll move too much from 53.5 I see a lot of the sharps coming in on the under, but I think that the public may, because of, if you're not paying attention, you don't know about the Carson Strong, you don't know about some of that stuff. You may think this Nevada team has just as much offense in it as it had when Jay Norvell was there. And Jay Norvell is one of those distinct coaches to where he likes an offense-heavy team. So, a lot of coaches got to have some defense in there somehow, but he'll fly high on them. So that's where I think the line to move. How about you? What you think the line movements look like on this one?
I probably see it tipping down a little bit. Maybe the total kind of just hovering where it's at. Maybe I can see maybe another point, possibly, depending on. I don't think it's going to be one of the heaviest bet games, even though it is, a true FBS type game, versus some of the others on board. But and this is this an earlier game or is it a later game? That's the other thing you got to look at too.
I'm not sure what time it is right now, but I know it comes on the 26th. It's one of the first games that we get for college football. So
yeah,
I think more people will be actually tuning in because it won't be a big card up that day. So we'll get a lot of movement because a lot of bettors are gonna come want to play, to place their bets.
Yeah, I would say probably. If it's a later game, I would probably say, it'd see some degen action early on. But if there's any value built in to the number, then I'm sure the sharps will figure that out.